premolar story, you have to draw on the model. You have to draw a lot. I draw a lot on my model to have answer. I start from one premolar. Two premolar. First one, you know, first premolar have a very large curve with secondary fissure. And you have the table, occlusal table afterwards. The second premolar is quite different. You have a very small here. And after you have two kind here, two different kind of monologue. Okay? And again, occlusal table. So we start from that situation, entrance of my molar, and slowly it's turned, and second axe larger because it's molar now. That means I am going to entrance like a premolar, and slowly the crown begin to turn. And look, I have to respect that for the comfort of the patient. I have to entrance like a premolar, and I go here larger here. And here is generally parabolicus. And so I entrance like my premolar. And I exit like here and the occlusal table. That, and now I am larger, and if I respect speed and I'm sorry, Wilson chord, here I have at the same line but higher, down longer. So I have already, when I start, it's why I always take 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 seconds to understand. Oh, now here, what I have to do now. Okay? And look, another information, if it's too long. That means that I have to do the root, beginning of root. So the story will be something like that. Very beautiful, I'm sorry. The beginning of the root here. So, product, what I need to do that? I can do a beautiful crown in 2 layers. Or if I want to perfect, I include translucency. And again, dentine, translucence, enamel. What I am going to do now, for the root, so we are going to do a A3 shade. A3 to change. A3 shade. 59. Super lucent, we conserve that. Modification, here I have a root to do. A3, look what I'm doing. I take A3 body, my shade. I had opaque dentine B3 or B4. Why? Because I have shown you with the crown, the roots are always yellowish. So, you understand? And I'm going to add, for example, a small orange brown to give one shade. Can you show me, give me my master model? Yes. You see that shade here of the root? I include that kind of orange-brown. We find it in mouth very often. So I repeat, for the root, I start from my shade. I 50 opaque dentine, and I'm going to add plus a very small quantity because it's tenths of orange brown. A2, what I have to do now for my translucency, superlucent, SL, it's an incredible product to have a bluish, whitish color, and I will overbuild back with 71. Exercise. If we want, I show you a maximum of things. If I want, for example, to have a more whitish crest, you know, very often, it's very nice. It's very simple. We have the product, white E effect. That means that when I will show you, but I have to the final step. It's enamel, so I will finish my crest, all the crest, with a more whitish effect. Okay? And another very important materials for shofu, it's that one. CTA, cervical transparent shade A. It's a beautiful product. It's a product to give you deepness. You know, in that side, very often you have the preparation of the dentist. And here they don't give us enough space. That means if I want to give color here, it's why I do my mixture. Root, A3, opaque dentine, and orange. But here I finish with I build up my dentine, and I overbuild with that layer here to give thickness and deepness. It's an incredible product. You will see after firing. It's over, you can see that. You see, I have my root, and suddenly here I have something which immediately shining, not too strong shade. You will see. We start. I am in my laboratory. I have a lot of crown to do, so I have no time to lose. We say A3. Okay, I have a root to do. What I'm going to do?
For the root.
Opaque dentine. Okay, opaque dentine, B3. Oh, B4 is better, more yellowish. Opaque dentine, B4, half and half. And a small quantity of orange.
For the root, always be with the body.
Always
the
be,
color,
always
with
be.
the color for what
Always
we decide.
Orange or brown?
Orange brown. But it can be, you have to check. Sometimes if it can be yellowish, it can sometimes roots are brownish. But I give them the more often it's that kind of shade.
This thing can mix with any kind of ceramic?
Any kind of thing.
Any kind.
That boxes is incredible. And you can do for the zirconium, you can stain directly on your frame. You can do what you want, and you have two kind of boxes. That one, another one is quite not the same, but where you have FCS. That means foundation, and the quality of that, if for example you mixed with your opaquer, that stain stay dull, no shining effect. It's why we use it for the foundation. It's internal, beautiful. Internal. And we start. My root, all around. Look, I do that. all around, and I condense. I will explain you something for the bridge specifically after, in the afternoon. And I condense. What does it mean? That I'm going just to condense. Look the water. Normally the water, if you vibrate, mechanical vibration, everything fall down. Here, because of the weight of the water. Here, on the contrary, because it's a very high level of frequency, the water goes out, and I can drive. Very comfortable for the bridge if you want to have. It's why I have one firing, because, and I go on the model. That's my road shade, and I continued. I draw now the limit of my route with my round instrument at a good level. And I can start the build-up, the pure build-up of my crown. And I have to go very fast for that, because I have all the answer at first. A big quantity, look, I'm going to work with big quantities to go as fast as possible. I drive it. At the beginning, I have to go very fast. In my lab,
You like to use only water for mixing powder?
water. French water. Sometimes French wine, but it's at the end of the day. I go very fast. I don't try to give a perfect shape. I don't want to give the good volume. And I work with my spatula as clean as possible. And I continued. In that area, in the depth, I introduce my orange here, my orange mixture. And I continue. Behind it, always a little more orange than in the rest of the ground. And I continued my dentine build-up. The build-up of my dentine, sir. Here. I go fast. On that time, I have to go fast. After, suddenly, I take time to give the right shape, the exactly right shape. But here, I have no time for that. I have to put quantities. Okay, and I start to draw now the fissure, the cusp of the premolar here. It's not beautiful at the beginning. You will see at the end. I finish the shape behind here. And now I'm going to give more details here with my spatula. And I begin to respect the organization of that crown. What is it? I've said that I want to be in the same axe of the premolar to entrance. So I have to draw it. Okay. Finish it. I have not to draw grooves in the dentine. There is no groove. You have seen on the picture, there is absolutely no groove in the natural tooth in the dentine. Groove, it's only in enamel. So if I spend time to draw groove in my dentine, it's wrong. and it's lost time. And I'm going to overcoat that premolar mamelon with the molar one. Here, I start to give a little more details. Now, up. And I continue to work very clean. One cast, another one, that one, that one. And I check. Look, now I'm not the perfectly details, but look, I entrance like the premolar, I way out like the molar. You see?
Yeah.
That means that my molar is in the story of that mouth. And here, at the end, I will add, I can start, but I will add it, sorry, the parabolic cusp, here, in that area. You see? I translate the premolar, I get out with the molar, like a molar. Very fast. Why I do that? Because now I'm going to prepare my cutback. And in the natural tooth, you have the same thickness of enamel everywhere. Everywhere, all around the crown. What does it mean? Where are the tissues? Thank you very much. I have to condense now. Look, the water. 2 times. If I want to do very precise cutback, I have to fix, to compact my dentine. So I do that. Not that, that. And now I can cut back very cleanly. In the mesial area, 89% chook. In the distal one, 89%. That's different line for the central. And look, my small instrument. You remember this morning the shape? The shape of the dentine. The shape of the dentine in the natural tooth is concave. Concave. I don't invent something. That's the reality. And something like that. You remember in Blaster, the shape? I have to reproduce. Why I have done that instrument? Because that instrument, if I do that, give me immediately concavity. I start here. I continue behind for the premolar, for the molar. In 1 minute, you see the concavity is coming. I just have to well place my mamelon.
This one in posterior, and interior also like this?
Sorry?
Concave, and interior also? No.
No.
No,
I show you the anterior. This afternoon we build up 2 anteriors, one young and one old. You will see. But in the natural tooth, the anterior, the dentine is flat. Here it's concave. Look, you see the concavity? And now I have just to finish like that. For the premolar, and look, the story is different for the molar. Here, I am lower because of Wilson curve. And look, oh. Now I have to give more details. Very small mamelon. Very thin one, look, slowly, slowly. And I clean in behind. I want to obtain something so delicate, because in the crown, in the natural tooth, you can imagine how it's delicate is. very thin one here, very thin one here. Look here. I finish here, very clean. You see now my premolar? And I've just, if I want to respect perfectly the natural tooth, I have just to do that. Here, here, and here. And look, it's very interesting because now if I see my crown, if I look at here, look, I have the story of the premolar. You see the story of the premolar, and downer and larger the story of my molar. That means that now if I overcurve with my translucent and my enamel, I will have the same thickness of enamel all around. So I really restitute the inside organization of the natural tooth. And what I will have certainly a nice result. It's like for the young lateral. Here, look the finesse of the dentine. So the light is working inside, outside. It's not only a problem of shade, of color. It's a problem of, here I organize the light.
Reflection.
So, reflection. Look, more details to finish. Here. Here. To give the place for a nice translucency here. And again. My crown is finished. In my mind, at the end of the dentine, the crown is done. You understand? Mm-hmm. Now I have just to overbuild with translucent and enamel. It's interesting, but it's not all. The secret to obtain one crown in one firing, it's why. Now I'm going to overbuild with translucent, and I go back with my translucent to the final shape on the model. And I will overbuild 10% more with the enamel. During the firing, shrinkage, my small mamelon shrinkage, and they are very well placed. You understand? I organize everything in that way. So at the end, you have to conserve that in mind. At the end of your translucence, you have to come back to the final shape. I will show you with the central several times, but it's very, very important idea of my technique. Superlucent, white for the crest. We have decided to make a whitish crest. 59, very easy, normal. And here, what I need, cervical, I will explain you why. CT, cervical translucent. It's a beautiful material. And look, very easy. I continue the build-up. What does it mean? With a thin layer of translucent.
We start with SL.
SL. I start at the third, and I overbuild. But I stay. I don't come to overbuild. No, I stay at the final shape. And all around, like you know Peter K. Thomas technique with the wax. Peter K. Thomas, PTK. I do that, in fact, with my translucent. Look, I draw the crest. I follow the organization of my dentine. Up is the crest, and I continued here. And just behind the dentine here, I put a small quantity of translucent. At first for support the thin pit of dentine, and second to give translucency just behind. Okay, and again I work clean. What does it mean? That For each layer, I want to have something perfectly clean. Why? The most I am able to separate, well separate the layer, the most I have the chance to obtain a good contrast. In fact, a beautiful ceramic. It's a beautiful contrast between a very sharp shape of dentine and the rest. If everything is round, you have no reflective, you have nothing happen. If you start to give very angular, you have result. You change everything inside. It's very, very important. Look, my crown, no, at the moment, no beautiful fissure, nothing. Don't be afraid. The fissure, I will done it, but after condensation. I'm going to now overbuild my crown 10% over with the enamel. I'm going to condense, and after condensation, my crown and my porcelain will be and only on that time and at this time, I will draw my crowns and I conserve it after firing. If I draw all my curves in a wet porcelain, you lost a big part of your work. No, I don't have time to lose time. You understand? To finish, I draw with cervical translucent at a good place. I draw the start of my crown. Here, CTA. And I continue. Enamel. So now it's time I talk about a whitish crest of enamel. Look, very simple. I overbuild 10% with white. Only the crest.
Straight.
Directly, it's enamel. After, it depends, after the translucence, not the translucent, because sometimes the translucence is more yellow, sometimes after the translucence. Look, I'm going to really draw a precise crest here, all over my crown.
In the ridge, all of them.
Here. 10% over the final size.
This enamel white, huh?
Enamel white. And so now I finish with the normal enamel. That's all. Under control. Everything is under control with that technique. And I overbuild 10%, I already explained, 10% over. I have a specific technique I will explain you during afternoon for the bridge about the shrinkage, because the bridge gives us a lot of problem with the shrinkage. We have the feeling to be obliged to firing 1 time, 2 times. No, it's not necessary. I will explain you why. And I continued very fast here with my enamel inside. I put quantities. I don't try to obtain something beautiful. You are certainly, on that time, a little disappointed because you say, oh, his crown is not beautiful. Please, give me 5 minutes. That's the dentine. That's the enamel. Here, enamel. And I overbuilt. The more important is to respect the story. After the groove, I will regulate it later. Look here. That mamelon here. Larger, downer, always. And we are going to do the carabelli. Here, very whitish.
White.
Why not? It's enamel. Carabelli, it's always enamel.
Which one you use, white enamel?
Yes, white enamel. Why not? Certainly in Zanzibar or somewhere else in the strange island, the people are very whitish. Certainly. You have just to meet them. Okay. I check if I have enough materials. Okay. And now I'm going to remove my porcelain. Okay. Sorry. And I finish it. In that part, it's normal with my root materials. I have to be very logic. Here and here. The contact point over with my enamel. In distal area too. I check everything to be sure to have that crown in one firing. Contact point has to be a little much larger to be sure.
That was Hitchcock, birds.
Hitchcock. That's very good. Okay, I'm going to condense. So I repeat, on that time my molar is not really beautiful. I hope that at the end I can say it's beautiful. But the story is here. And the materials is at a good place. Now it's time to give good answer for the shape. Okay, okay. Enamel, yes. Maybe here a little more, and maybe